Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ask Us Anything, and I hope you're having a great evening.
And happy 4th of July this week. Can
Yeah.
you imagine that?
Just around the corner.
It is almost here. We are pretty darn excited about that. Wow. Let's see. What's up? Gosh, I had something I was going to say right at the top, and I can't really forgot. Oh, well.
Oh, well.
I have these moments. We just finished doing, I know it is. I got all of our reviews. One, have you been watching our Class A reviews, our small Class A's? Second one went up this morning. We have a whole playlist for them on our YouTube channel. And the third one will go up tomorrow. And then we'll tell you which of the three. And Tuesday we think is the best for the buck. And then starting next weekend, we're going to look at some Class C's. We checked a couple of Class C's. Two of them, as a matter of fact, and we'll have back-to-back reviews next weekend on Class C cabovers, kind of that traditional Class C. We were camping last week in Class C's, so we've had a lot of fun doing reviews, and we're heading to Elkhart on Tuesday to go review another, well, it's technically a Class C, a brand new one that's being revealed and released, and we'll be telling you about that in a couple of weeks, and then we're 10 days away, 12 days away from heading to, maybe a little more than that, heading off to the Canadian Maritimes for our fantasy RV tour with 25 other rigs, our favorite friends, and we're looking forward to that as long as I can get my truck fixed.
I was going to say we're going to be hitchhiking.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. We'll talk more about it in the podcast, but I have been sharing on social media a little bit of our woes. And particularly, I've been sharing in our RV lifestyle community. And I hope you guys are members of our community. If you're not, go join it, community.rvlifestyle.com. But we have had, we have a major issue with our truck that we use to tow this fifth wheel we're in. And it's right at it's so costly to fix the entire fuel system that we are probably going to be better off buying a new vehicle.
So in other words, you're telling me we can put a tent in the back of our Equinox.
And yeah, maybe camp. We doing our fantasy RV tour camping in a tent.
There we go.
But it's tough. I mean, it's so hard to find a truck, a tow truck. And we're looking, that's probably what we're going to need is a tow truck. But I'll talk more about it in the podcast.
Hey,
because I figure there's somebody else.
You got a week to figure it out.
Hey, I've had a week to settle one, and I don't know if they could fix this thing in a week because it's a massive labor job. What's wrong with it?
And two, the car dealerships being hacked.
Oh yeah, do you all know about that? That the car dealerships, they all use the same software. Like I think it's 15,000 dealerships around the country it's really robust software, it does scheduling and maintenance and all that stuff, writes out the deals, gets the title and the registration. Well, that software has been hacked and held in ransom by bad guys. Now, the people who run the software, they're not saying a thing because they don't admit anything except it doesn't work, and they're trying to fix it. But that's been 2 weeks, and it is causing havoc throughout the automotive industry because they can't process a lot of their orders. And so I have to get this thing fixed, which is a massive job, or get a new rig within a week. And we're looking at it, it's either a F350 or 3500 series from Dodge Ram or GMC. Or the Ford F350. So it's going to be crazy. We still got to do all our other work, but wish us luck. And we'll share more in the podcast, but we're going to need to find a solution here.
You should have quit wishing so hard for an F350.
Yes, I have been wishing for one, but this is not how.
As soon as you got the 250, you wanted the 350.
Yeah.
So it's your fault for wishing so hard.
Oh, gosh. And I've loved my F250. Absolutely love my truck. So I really do. Okay, enough of all of that stuff. Let's get to some of your questions and your comments. But Ed Richards, our first up tonight.
Greetings from South Louisiana, where we are keeping a watchful eye on. I bet you are.
On Hurricane Beryl, which is the first 4.0 hurricane this early, and it's going to head across the southern Caribbean. It looks like taking aim at Belize and maybe Cozumel, that area. Hopefully you will miss it on the South Louisiana coast, but anything in that Gulf area is a cause for concern. So fingers crossed for you. It's going to be a tough season, I think, this year. That's what they all say. Daniel Mitchell.
Comment. Back from Alaska trip. Wonderful time. Only issue, bugs. Down half a pint of blood. Joking, of course. Now wishing everyone a happy first and fourth holiday. Stay safe.
Yes. Well, we know that feeling. In fact, our story of the week, I think, in our podcast will be our encounter with the bugs of the Upper Peninsula, the biting flies that are out there right now. This is kind of peak time. They kind of end of July, but it's kind of like Alaska. What is the state bird of Alaska? Is the mosquito. So glad you're back home, and I'm sure you had an awesome trip because it's a great place. Steve Egbert.
Hi from Central California.
Hi to you, Steve. Thank you for being with us this afternoon out your time. KK Kayak.
Comment. The Winnebago National Camp Edition was beautiful. The thing in the middle between the driver's seat and the passenger seat is called the dog house.
Not for Bo, it's not the dog house. Yeah.
Poor Bo. I agree with Bo. It's in the way.
Well, wait till you see KK Kayak. Because we drove two of those big 450 Fords or 550s, I think they are, with that same, you say doghouse, we've just called it an engine cowling, this big mound, a hump in the middle between the driver and the passenger in the cab. Bo likes to sit where that is, and it freaks him out that he can't go there because he's used to riding there. But in one of the RVs we tested, you'll see it coming up in one of our Class C reviews. There's only that much room in the seat for Jennifer's legs. Where in the passenger
room for
seat,
one leg.
you can put one leg in, and then the other one's got to be.
You have to be creative.
It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous that Ford would design something like that. So, but anyway, we had fun with it, and we don't like those things in the Ford chassis. I wouldn't buy one. We wouldn't, just because they're just so cumbersome. And Bo wouldn't allow me to. Susie Tinknell Smith.
Good evening from Clarkston, Michigan.
Across the mitt from us. You're over here and we're over here. Thank you, Susan. Christine Savoy.
How much approximately you spend per month? On what?
On what? Everything?
Camping?
I'm not telling you. How much? Well,
more than we should.
Yeah. How about this? More than we should. And I think you're talking about camping, it is not a cheap lifestyle. It can be. You can make it cheap if you want to live marginally, and mooch stock and boondock, but it costs money. Campgrounds cost, and we love the boondock, but you can't boondock all the time. And the reality of the RV lifestyle is something breaks every trip. I mean, I don't mean, and I'm just saying that just goes with it. You have to, if you've been doing this as long as we have, something breaks or goes wrong on every trip. That's part of the adventure of it, right? Sometimes, like my truck now, that's a major break, but most of the time it's
error.
The other thing I'm struggling with, and I don't think this is a big deal at all, but we installed a washer dryer in this fifth wheel, basically for this Canadian trip, because we want to be able to have clean clothes, and for all of our travels, especially when we're on our property in Tennessee, it's nice. We want to have our own washer dryer. Commercial laundromats are just
sometimes they're good and sometimes they're not.
Yeah, and when they're not, it's not good. So anyway, we installed it, but there's this leak, and I thought I had it fixed, and it's still leaking. We tested the other day. Yeah, a couple of pipes and coming underneath the bed, and there's something loose under there, and that's where it's leaking on the spin cycle. So I got to remove some plywood and get in and look at that, and I got to do that while I'm buying a new truck. So I don't know. We'll see. We're going to call our friends at Keystone, see if they can help us out a little bit in the next week. But I don't have a truck to take it to them. So,
well, I said to him, the logical thing is we can't use the washer and dryer. Forget about it. Move on.
No, let's fix
Truck.
it. If we can fix it,
Truck is
it's
first.
in. Yeah, the truck is first, but
Yeah,
we can
forget
fix
about the
fix
washer and
that.
dryer.
We'll find somebody that'll help me take that. I got to take a part of the plywood covering on the bed off so I can get on, because the
But
pipes are underneath it.
I hope they don't have any questions because I got to listen to all of our.
Well, but back to that point about how much you spend every week. It isn't a cheap lifestyle. Something's always going to go wrong, and you roll with the punches, or you don't do this lifestyle. So it's not. I would say it's as expensive as living in a sticks and bricks house.
If
So
you got a marriage that's kind of wobbly,
you're gonna have it's gonna wobble a lot from time to time. Fortunately, she just slaps me upside the head, and I usually snap right out of it. Okay, Chris Mando Biondo.
good evening, RV lifestyle friends.
Hi, Chris. Welcome. Chris is in Kansas. Rafael Yakupin.
Hello from South California.
Hello, Rafael. Thanks for joining us tonight. Richard Carrero.
The community is excellent.
Yes, it is. I hope you're talking about that community. Yes, we are right there, the one on your screen. RV Lifestyke. Have you guys joined that yet? Please do. We hope you would become a part of that. It's fun to see all of you guys logging on right now, watching us from literally all over the world. Jack Partain.
Are any of your staff members going with you to the Canadian Maritimes?
No, it's not really. We're just going as guests, as regular travelers like everybody else. We announced it. It's run by Fantasy RV Tours, Jack. And so Jack is going, by the way. He'll be there.
Good.
So they're running it. We're just going like you are, we're just going to be there, and we'll be probably doing some videos and all that sort of stuff. But we've been very curious at what Fantasy RV Tours are. We wanted to do the Maritimes. We saw this. We reached out to them, and so we're going.
So we're just going to be sitting around in chairs with a little glass with a little umbrella stuck in our lemonade.
And eating lobster and scallops. Best lobster and scallops in the Maritimes. But we're just regular. We're just going, the two of us and Bo. Jeff Carey.
Thanks for the 2 Class A reviews. Is there a reason you did not review a 35-foot Class A, which is closer to the length of your fifth wheel?
Yeah. Well, one, Jeff, we want to do small Class A's, and small are considered 30 feet and under. That's the kind of the little niche we've seen a huge increase in the popularity. So we kept them to 30 feet and under. Would we like to review the larger ones, over 30 feet? Yes. Are there any dealers or owners that would let us borrow them to do them? No. Now, our friends at General RV in Wixom, Michigan, they're not sponsors, they're not advertisers, but they, when I approached them on this and said, hey, we're going to do these, we get 40 million views on all these videos. And they said, okay. So, because we do our reviews different. We don't just go in and do a review of them sitting on a dealer lot. We look at them, we drive them, we actually camp in them, and then we do the review based on experience of actually living and using them as RVers do. So most, when you're over 35 feet in a Class A, you're talking a couple $100,000, $300,000, $400,000. And I guess I can understand the dealers. They don't want us to use them, bring our dog in, even though, we clean up and they have detailers, they can clean them. But very few are reluctant. And I got to say, a lot of them, when they hear that we do our review and we don't give it to anybody in advance, we say the good, the bad, the ugly, what we think, what we like, what we didn't like. Some of the manufacturers and dealers balk at that and say, oh, no, we want to see what you say. Well, then it's not a review, if they get to say what it says. So we can't, and I'm not going to go buy one, Jeff. So it's hard for us to get a hold of them to do the kind of reviews we like. Now, that's not saying we can't. We are friends at Sunshine State RVs in Gainesville, Florida. We've been reviewing Class Bs. In fact, we got another Class B that we're going to review in just a couple of weeks. It's all been shot and done. But when you get up there on a $400,000 Class A, these dealerships and the manufacturers say, no way, you can't go camping in that and do a review. So long answer, but I hope that makes sense. Tom McAllister.
Howdy from Tomcat in North Carolina. Have you guys been to Lambright RV Furniture in Indiana? And what are your thoughts on their RV furniture? We're picking up a new sleeper sofa next week on our way to Yellowstone.
We've heard lots of good things about Lambright, but we have not been there and haven't checked them out. We should, because we're right next to Elkhart and we'll be there Tuesday. But I can't give you any firsthand knowledge other than that it has a great reputation. So enjoy it and enjoy Yellowstone.
Yes. How can you not enjoy Yellowstone?
Say hi to Kathy for us. Harold Melson.
Can the flexible plastic solar panel on top of a Class B replaced by rigid panels?
Usually, yes. Depends on the wiring, though, on what kind of wiring the factory or whoever wired them. You might have to, that's the only issue that I can see. And then the flexible plastic, how was it mounted? Was it glued to the roof? Then you might have a little problem pulling that stuff off. But it's the wiring issue, and I can't. You need to talk to a solar installer and have them be familiar with exactly what are the panels you want to replace. But it would be wiring issues that I think you might encounter. Maybe not. It depends on what they are like, Harold. So can't help you without knowing more. Coop's RV Adventures.
Oh no, good luck. We will say a prayer for you. We're looking forward to meeting you on our trip to Canada. We had a similar issue and had to buy a new rig in a short time.
Well, thank you, Coops, and prayers are always appreciated. We find that we have to pray before we even get in the car these days, because you don't know what's going to happen in front of you, behind you, alongside of you, and we would appreciate that. It's going to be a challenging week, but it will make a good story, right? For our Jen and Mike story time on our podcast. Have you guys been listening to that? Because we've added, that's a new feature, our story time. We kind of ramble a little bit. And
I'm thinking we're probably going to end up with a red truck. You'd like red?
No, I kind of like the white.
We had a red truck at one time.
I did.
Had an F-150.
Didn't I get a speeding ticket with that?
Yeah.
It's the last speeding ticket I got.
Didn't we have a red F-150 and a white F-150 at one time?
We did.
We had two.
We did. We had a white Sport. It was called a Ford Sport. It was a small little pickup, but so I'm glad somebody else had to do that. I get it. It is possible. So we'll let you know how it goes. Glenn Allen.
Would you prefer a 4-wheel drive RV?
We had one. And
it was extra bumpy, the ride.
Now I will tell you this, that I was very impressed with these Class C's that we tested out this past week. The room we had them in them.
They were bigger than the A's.
Yeah, they actually had more livable room in them, and I think were more comfortable than the small Class A's that we reviewed that are being reviewed now. We really liked them, and I could see buying a higher end, because we checked a starter unit, kind of a entry level Class C cab over, and then an intermediate one. We didn't do 3. We only did 2. And I can see getting a better quality one, but then you're in the process, you have to tow a vehicle. Well, I'm already towing a vehicle when my vehicle is towing the RV. So I'm happy now. I'm content towing with the fifth wheel, and we love this Montana. I mean, we've been looking, we look all the time, and we just love our fifth wheel.
It's nothing like going in these other RVs to appreciate the 2 recliners that we have.
Oh my God.
And our sofa.
Yeah.
And this rig, because
and the fireplace and this table that we're at now, and the room, the bathroom, the ensuite bathroom, the washer dryer, which we'll get working soon. The storage. I just love this thing. So I think, for us, it's a truck.
Now the 4-wheel, when you get the 4-wheel
drive,
4-wheel drive, when we had it, it was a rough ride.
It was a rougher
ride.
And
it was the big step to get in. I don't know if they've changed that.
It's higher up.
It was a big step.
And yep. Bun Lenardi.
Hello from Prescott Valley, Arizona. Sorry to hear about your truck. Hope it gets fixed. Hoping our AC doesn't fail. Wish us luck too. Going to Mount Lassen. We also wished for a 350 and now have it.
Hey, Bud. Yep. Well, good. I'm glad that worked for you. And AC, you're going to need it out there in Arizona. So enjoy that trip. That's a beautiful, beautiful trip. Any place out west is fun.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Swolinski.
Hello from Perry, Michigan. Hope you get your truck worked out. Been working at a local hospital ransomware
Same, yeah.
issue for the last few weeks. Not fun at all.
And
No.
they can't pay these ransoms because they'll just come back and do it again, these people. So when these people get hit, like the car dealership software, it's all ransomware. What always happens is the people who are hit, because they just, they don't admit it. They won't tell their public because they're going to be liable. They're going to get sued. It's a mess. And but that's what it is. It's ransomware, and it's a scourge. It's a huge problem that you don't hear very much about because it's not. You don't see the violence, but it's just a massive problem, and nobody pays much attention to it unless you're in a hospital or something like that.
Yeah, in fact, someone was telling me how a hospital was going to be bought by another hospital, but they had been hacked. And
same thing, yeah.
So it might ruin the sale because they don't need that grief.
Yeah.
It's going to gobble them up.
Marta Santiago.
Good evening, Jen and Mike from Greensville, North Carolina.
Hey, Marta. Hey, can I do a pitch for our supporters group? I haven't done this, and I always feel kind of strange shilling for ourselves, but it's no secret that the world of blogging and content creation has changed a whole lot since last fall when Google updated its algorithms and the way it returns search results to favor AI. So what Google has been doing for the last couple of years is been sending its AI out to scour the web, getting as much content as it can, basically just ingesting it all from our blogs, from everybody's blog, from the networks, from big media, all that stuff, taking that out. And starting last fall, they began to denigrate, in other words, not show results from blogs. It used to be an even field. If we wrote more about a certain topic than anybody else did, they would always show our stuff, and you'd, on a search, and you'd click on it. Well, they changed all of that. And without getting too complicated, they destroyed the independent bloggers. Most of them are falling by the wayside. A great many have gone out of business entirely. It's devastated their income. We took a huge hit. Fortunately, not as bad as others because we have, books and our RV lifestyle community and YouTube and our podcasts. But it took a big hit on our blog. So it's been my crazy dream for most of the 12 years that we've been doing this to not have to take corporate sponsorships or not be dependent on big tech, to be dependent on the people who consume our material. So that's why we have this supporters. It's kind of like a Patreon, only it's better. And there it is, scrolling across the screen, just like a news. This just in, you can support Mike and Jeff. Mike and Jen. Jeff too. Jeff's our son. RVlifestyle.com/supporter.
So we'll get a little RV shirt on and go stand on a corner with Bo with a cup in her hand.
Yeah, Bo, Bo will do
get
it.
A corner.
Bo, yeah. So we set this up. There's some perks that you get when you support us. We're still going to keep doing this. You don't have to do any of this stuff, but we just are making this available so you know about it. And that's one of the ways we're trying to offset this dependence on big tech and Google's AI stealing everything, which it is. So if you haven't, just go to that and please check that out, and you can see more of what we're talking about. And if there's one of those, we have different levels of support, and you guys are welcome to just ignore it all. Or if you see one that you think would work, we'd love to have you do that. And we promise we'll keep working hard for you, whether you support us or not. We're not going to go under, and we're not going to go out without a fight. But we got to get a truck too. Hey, maybe we could do that. We could do a fundraiser, a crowd thing for my truck. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just kidding. But anyway, think about being a supporter. Okay. No more shilling. Tina Dilts.
We just started this life and own a 2002 Winnebago. And I have found that something breaks every trip, 100% accurate.
Yep. And let's just admit that to people. You know, every now and then I will hear from a manufacturer says, "Well, we know you have a lot of followers, but we think that you shouldn't be saying all this stuff." Well, come on. All somebody has to do is go out and travel in an RV, and they know it. I don't fault you guys that it breaks. Most of the time, this thing is running down the roads like that. No wonder things break. And they're easily fixed. Almost everything is easily fixed. And you can't stress out about it. You just accept it and embrace it and buy a new truck.
But the truck is our fault.
Yeah, it's all my fault. Bud Lenardi.
Speaking of braking, we have our auto leveling fixed, but when we push auto leveling, the slides come out first. Back to Lippert for
somebody wired something wrong, because that shouldn't be like that. But now maybe they wired it that way, because you can level it with this. I always level it with the slides in, and then I put the slides out. But Lippert will take care of it, because they're a good system. Company. They are a great company. They are. Sundance Blue 21, Thomas Welch up in Gaylord, Michigan. You got a longer name now, Tom. Hello to you up there in Gaylord. Good to see you on with this. Are you fan?
Hello from Jersey Shores, experiencing some strong thunderstorms for a second Sunday in a row.
Stay dry and stay in. Watch out for lightning. Yep. Larry Freebird Nace. Hello from Orlando, Florida. But he's in Hagerstown, Maryland for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
That sounds nice to get out of Florida for the summer.
Inka Schultz.
Comment, there are portable washing machine units used in apartments, etc., that might be helpful as a temporary measure.
Well, we keep what we got, and
it's in there.
We'll get ours fixed. It's in, and I just have to figure out how to get underneath the bed and get to those pipes.
Somebody told me once that their mother, when she traveled, would put her clothes in the sink with some soap and water when they drove down the road.
Didn't it go all over the floor?
I don't know.
It would if it was in Michigan. If the road's in Michigan, it would be all over the floor.
But I thought, well, whatever works for you.
Yeah, whatever works. Okay, Inka, thanks for sharing that. Appreciate your suggestion and thinking about us. That's all great.
It's probably what we should have bought was a little portable. Well, then you got to dump the water, got to vent it.
Yeah. Hey.
Hello.
Hey, I'm going to bring a couple of comments over from the community, but to do that, I have to make 4 or 5 clicks. And so don't think I left.
I've got a couple that I see up here. I'll take a couple of these.
And I'll go get the ones in the community.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So here's one, Jody McCain. Have you found that truck prices have come down at all? Yes, as a matter of fact, I have, Jody. The truck prices are much more reasonable. When we bought this back in 22, the truck we have now, I paid as much as a new truck. It was ridiculous.
It was used.
And it was a used truck. It was a 21 model. And it was ridiculous. But the inventories have straightened out. There actually are quite a few trucks available. I might have to use some frequent flyer points and fly out to get one and drive it back this week. Oh my gosh. But I'm prepared. I just got to find the best price. And then I've got to get the hitch taken out of my old one and put in the new one. So, but the truck prices have come down, and that's good. And I'm told that a couple of brands, I don't know how accurate it is, but somebody said Dodge Ram has like a year-long inventory backlog now, so that they're widely available. And a lot of people recommend those as a tow truck as well. It's funny though, because people are arguing. It's like religion and politics. But it's a 3-way instead of 2-party. It's everybody, Fords are better. No, Fords are junk. GMC are better. No, GMC's junk. It's Dodge Ram. And everybody, no, there's this engine and that engine. And I mean, you'll hear one guy say, don't buy this because it's junk. And then the next one, I've had this, it's great. Don't buy the other one because it's junk. And people are.
There's good and there's bad.
Yeah. So people make these sweeping comments based on their experience.
Yes.
But their experience is not necessarily typical. And so you kind of wade through that. But people have very strong feelings about their trucks.
And I appreciate their passion.
Yes, I have. RV Lifestyle. This came from the community, RV Lifestyle community. How much weight can a rear bumper support with the trailer hitch, coupler, and aluminum carrying basket? So Tall Paul, that's who wrote that, I think. There's a sticker on that trailer that says what the rear bumper can support. I don't know your model, and I don't know, so go look at that sticker. There's always a thing, and it'll tell you what the basically the hitch weight is, and that's what you go on. So go find that sticker. On motorhomes, they're right inside the door frame, and on towables, sometimes you'll find it out by the hitch. Sometimes you'll find it on the side. If you have a slide out, it might be underneath the slide out. But there's a little sticker that is on there, and it will tell you what the hitch weight is.
What I found interesting, what I learned was that your hitch for pulling whatever you're pulling is part of the weight of your unit.
Well, the hitch,
but the car that you're towing or whatever is not.
Not the hitch, the hitch weight.
The hitch weight.
It's like 200-300 pounds. It might be, that's a typical one.
Because I always wondered about the car.
No, it doesn't, because the car's not.
It's
the car's on wheels. It's going fast, but the weight of the car hitch on it,
that counts as
part of your weight. Just check for that sticker. And this is from Sharon Steele, also in the RV Lifestyle community. She wants to know why her solar controller is not showing any readout. Screen is black. Is the battery still charging? Something's not connected in your solar controller, or it's night when you're checking it. I don't know. If light is coming in and your controller is wired right, it should show you something. Make sure you're touching the screen. I don't know what brand you have, what kind of solar controller it is, but obviously it's not wired correctly. A wire has come loose. There is a way on some solar controllers to reset them, and you could try that. It usually involves finding where the fuse is for it, removing the fuse, let it sit for a couple of minutes or a minute, a few seconds, 30 seconds, put the fuse back in and start it up again. And sometimes that resets it. It all depends on the brand of the solar controller you're with it. But just from what little you said to us, it's clear that the wiring's not right, or maybe you can get it back if you reset it. Find out who makes it and call them and tell them, and they'll help you troubleshoot it easier than I can, because they know what brand it is. DDDD.
See, why do you pull the fifth wheel back and forth to your property and just let it set and not use it at your sticks and bricks? Why don't you just leave it at your property in Tennessee? Because we need it here.
Because Tennessee is down
600
here,
miles away,
and we're going to Canada, which is 1,000 miles away, and I don't want to have to go all the way down to Tennessee and then drive it up to Canada. And we're also camping from here. We go places from here. We do like to leave it in Tennessee, but that's not where we keep it all the time, because we travel all the time. So we keep it in the summer up here, and then in the winter we kind of move it down there, and because we do more traveling in warmer weather, in the winter. But we use it, so we're always using it, and we can keep it here in our sticks and bricks, where I can work on it and do projects. Like I was hoping this week to set up and show you a couple really cool gadgets from Waggle, but that isn't going to happen if I have to go buy a truck. And this becomes kind of like a little studio too. But we use this fifth wheel, this Montana, all the time.
If we're not using it, we can come out here and sit and pretend we're using it.
I like to come up here, because there's these awesome lounge chairs, and I'll go sit in here, and sometimes I fall asleep, and it's kind of like my man cave, and it's kind of like your she shed.
Yeah, Bo's dog.
But we travel all the time, so it doesn't make sense to leave it in a place where we are.
And if you have an RV, sometimes don't you just go out and sit in it?
Come on, everybody does that.
Look out the window at the trees and kind of dream you're someplace else.
Yep. Randy Dexter.
But I bet you like that big blue truck next to you at the Shipshewana gathering. It's been a workhorse.
Well, we're thinking about, coming down and kidnapping that truck, Randy. I don't think you use it as much as you should, so maybe we'll just borrow that. Yeah, Randy's got a monster truck. He does, and he tows it behind a Super C RV as well. So, and on the back of that truck is a supersized EV golf cart. Talk about bringing everything with you. You really need a lawnmower too, Brandy. I think you should bring a lawnmower as well. A riding lawnmower, of course. Are you a fan?
Speaking of things breaking, keep a list of things that needed fixing during our 35-day trip. About 6 items. All were of the kind I could fix myself. A wiring issue, it took me several attempts. It was a fuse.
And you know, for some of us, that's half the fun of it too. I'm not, as you'll hear if you listen to the podcast and I share what I did, I'm not very mechanical. I don't know a whole lot of stuff, but I fixed 2 things. I fixed one thing this week. We had water wasn't staying in the bowl of our toilet, of the RV toilet.
And I bet a lot of you out there have that problem.
And it's just a seal, and it was very easy. I just ordered a replacement seal from Dometic. Ordered it on Amazon, and popped the seal out and got some silicone, put it around it. And it took me a few tries to get it to learn how it works and where it sits in the toilet, but I got it in the bowl and now it works and it holds water. And I'm feeling really good about myself. But, you know, those are the little kind of issues that you have. Most of them are very little and easily fixed. And it isn't, you know, but admit it and go with the flow. Something's going to go wrong. Carry tools. Everybody used to tell me, hey, you don't carry enough tools. And I had a theory about it because I knew somebody next at the campground had whatever tool I needed and probably knew how to use it better than I did. So I was able to get lots of help that way. But I'm starting to carry more tools and stuff. I just bought a staple gun, you know, because RVs are put together with staples. Do you know that? Most people know that. And so now I have a brad, fires brads. It's kind of cool. So France Duguay.
Hello from Quebec, Canada. Glad to see you again.
Thank you, France. I don't know if I'm pronouncing if it's pronounced France or is it Francais? But anyway, thank you from Quebec. Beautiful city. KK Kayak. Montreal is a beautiful city.
Mm-hmm.
KK Kayak. Yes, he uses his camper at his house as his shed. Loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can't always go away. And
yeah.
It's just fun to go sit in it.
Yeah. Paul Slavin.
At what age did you know you wanted to live the RV lifestyle full time? Well, we're not full time. How did you come to the decision?
Well, we kind of are full time because this is our business now. But if you go to RVLifestyle.com and you'll see our story, we share our story, a long, involved story about how we started all this and our backgrounds. But bottom line is, Paul, we were campers ever since we got married many, many decades ago, and we raised our kids camping, and we started off with a 13-foot Shasta travel trailer, and then we got a Coleman pop-up, and then the kids got old. They didn't want to go if they're teenagers, and we got tents. We tent camped for many years, and then took some time off, and then about 13 years ago we started all over again. We started with Class Bs, and then went to B pluses, and then Class Cs, and now fifth wheels. And we still are going strong. But we shared our whole story. You can find it at RVLifestyle.com and look up in the menu, and you'll see.
So for us, it has really been fun to camp in those small Class A's because we've always been curious about them. And the same with the Class C's with that cab, that hangover, in the front.
Yep. Do you have a recommendation for a portable air pump? I do. It's on my Amazon page, and we have 2 of them actually. The first one I got was a big one from Via Air, which everybody says is the best, and it's a great one. It's a little more cumbersome. You need to hook it up to the battery, and it does a great job. But we had a flat tire on our previous fifth wheel, and I needed somebody to help change it. And the guy who came out to change it came out in a little tiny truck, and he brought this thing from Milwaukee, a little red thing. It's underneath my storage box right now, and hooked it up and set it up and automatically put the amount of pressure in there. It was all run on lithium battery, a little lithium battery that's chargeable. So that's the one I recommend. It's from Milwaukee. It's red. I can't remember what model it is, but it is on our Amazon influencer page, and you can just find it there. I don't know if we can get that up on the screen or not, but someplace we have it. But anyway, it's on Amazon. You can go find it. To go to look on M Michigan Camper from the Einhausers.
You both look great as usual. Wishing you a safe and memorable maritime trip. Robert and I just returned from
LED kayaking.
an old limestone mine.
Maybe that's LED lights kayaking. Wow,
that sounds interesting.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
That'd be Nancy and Robert. Yeah,
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, thank you for checking in with us tonight. Boy, that sounds really fun, doesn't it? Jeff Baldwin.
Hi, Mike. Sounds like you're pretty handy. Do you by any chance replace septic tanks? We might have to move into our motorhome.
Sure, Jeff. I'll be right over. No, that's a good one. Thanks. Good luck on that. That doesn't sound fun. Don Satow.
Have you used any electric bug traps,
Oh.
zappers, repellents for things like mosquitoes and biting flies? I'm one of those people whose blood seems like candy to them.
Okay. I just was talking about it because we're going to do a story about our story time for the podcast as we're planning it out for this coming week. We're going to talk about the bugs up in Michigan's UP, but there's a video on my YouTube channel. It's just go to youtube.com/RV Lifestyle, where we tested all of those things out in the most horrible conditions in Michigan bug season. We tested out traps, zappers, repellers, and none of them worked. Not a single
our
worked.
poor elk hound before Bo, Ty, hated bugs, but he was just sitting there and Mike was putting all these things and this dog just sat there. You know.
I put it to see if that. Anyway, it's a pretty funny video, and the best solution we had was Jennifer's solution. She just didn't come outside. I kept coming back, and she was just sitting in the RV enjoying the.
And once when we were looking for wolves in the Upper Peninsula,
in the Upper Peninsula, we went
to this campground, and the mosquitoes were so bad.
We had to wear like beekeeper outfits to keep the mosquitoes away, and even then.
They got us.
We're trying to talk, and you could hear.
And they were getting into our Class B motorhome, and then we went and got a room. And our predecessor to Bo, dog, when we got into the hotel room, it's just like he looked at us and fell down on the floor, like, "Finally, you people have come to your senses." It
was so bad. The mosquitoes in the UP were so bad.
We're in the heart of the woods.
We camped in Hiawatha National Forest, and they just. They got in. I don't know how they got in, but they got in, and we're swatting them all night long. And finally, it was so bad we had to actually leave the RV and go find a motel in a little town in the UP.
At a casino.
So I understand what you're saying, Don, but none of them work. Best thing is wait until fall before you go outside.
He laughed at me as I sat inside the RV and read.
Yep. And usually you can go out late at night and they're not too bad, but that's good. Okay, we got just time for a couple more. Time to tell you about our book, our latest ebook. This fall is a great time to plan a trip to Yosemite National Park. And this is our latest ebook. We urge you to go check it out. Please check all the links, and there's resources and different routes you can take. And we are really excited. This is number 23 in our series of RV travel books. And just go to that address, rvlifestyle.com/Yosemite. All right. So we will be back Wednesday with a podcast, and I will talk more about whatever it is that we're trying to figure out, how to solve our problems. I don't know, because we record the podcast usually on Mondays. I don't know how much information I'm going to have that you haven't already heard, but about the status of the truck and truck shopping. But I will at least share the complete details of the operator error that led to this situation, in hopes that I stop somebody as dumb as I am from doing the same mistake I made. So that will be on Wednesday's podcast. Don't forget our we have one more small Class A to review. That review will roll out tomorrow morning. And then on Tuesday morning, we'll tell you which of the 3 small Class A's that we saw we think are the best value for the money. And then on next Saturday on the YouTube channel, we'll start our 2-part Class C cabover reviews. And then I'll be out shopping for a truck or trying to get ours fixed. Life goes on, right?
Mhm.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Happy trails.